Okay, so we're live now. So the first question for the session, I'll just introduce in a bit. But so Satya introduced the format earlier, but I'll just also introduce the kind of rituals we have followed in the conversations across the years. So the rituals have been basically about the conversation style. The conversation style is that we tend to address the issue or the matter at hand directly instead of trying to kind of referentially try to link to it or talk about peripheral issues or whatever, right? So we just try to be as direct as possible. And yeah, okay. So I'm starting. So what was your motivation to be a part of this exhibition? I'll repeat. So what was your motivation to be a part of this exhibition? The exhibition we are referring to is the exhibition that opened with that we were all a part of. And so what was the motivation? Yeah.
Hey, Okin's also here, so it's good. So
Yeah, hi. Yeah.
Hi. So we can pick whoever wants to go first. Mriganka, you, or Shiu Jin, you, whoever. Did you hear the question?
Yes, I heard it. So it's Shiu Jin can go first if you want to talk.
Hey, hi guys.
Hi.
Hello.
This
Hi.
is Shiu. I'm sorry for late.
No problem. Yeah. Can you?
I'll repeat the question again, as so maybe you didn't catch it. So, what was your motivation to be a part of this exhibition?
So maybe I can go first since I heard
Yeah,
the
sure.
question. So,
Yeah.
So I think the first thing is definitely that since it is not a self-generated or it is not self-organized in some sense, but since it is Aditya's invitation to the thing, but I think one of the motivation which become primary to the exhibition is that it is one of the first, like there are many instances, but I think in an exhibition of various collectivities, or I think the question of collectivities which is primal to this exhibition. And also I could understand that that this kind of Surfatial also would be more of a like event connected to the collectivity. So I think that was, I think, this larger issue of understanding what are different conditions of working as collective, or how collectives can work together. So that can be, for us, it was one of the main motivation to part of this exhibition.
So, it was essentially a more. It was about the category. So it was because you identify as a collective, and the research question here in that sense was working on collectives. So
No, I don't think it was a category. Sorry to
so
interrupt.
it was purely about the content. It was about the category, or what was it like?
No, it's both, but in a sense what I'm saying is that usually when you construct, I don't want to get into the construction of exhibition or construction of event, but somewhere like any kind of like happening is like undoubtedly is a collective, in some sense of temporary collectivities or this kind of things. But primarily this exhibition, which is very, I think Aditya's thing was also that why he chose only to work like he chose 4 collectives and this kind of a thing. And I think that what was his motive behind his motivation, which was very pronounced. So I think that became, like, it is not that okay if it is the the category, but it is both. that what he was referring to the lot of the works, but at the same time, why this for? Why not?
Yeah,
like
but
the
we
thing?
can
So,
we can I think maybe move beyond the the formal kind of stating of that which is kind of clear. So in that sense, we all know Mopidevi's kind of motivation because it is stated as such. But what was your your personal in the sense motivation to be part of this? Because I'm sure you would be getting lots of like invitations all the time. So you would be making a choice that you want to be part of this and not that. So what was your
so that's why I told you that for me it is not category, but it is the whole. Also, I didn't know that the opportunity to understand or to know conditions of collectivity, which is basically whatever that means. It doesn't mean only.
so what does that mean to you?
It means that what are the different conditions of working in collectivities in different kind of contexts can so it can be an investigating point. So I am definitely interested in because one of our project also, one of the future project is also to work with various collectives. So I think that kind of communicated, and that was very interesting, that maybe an opportunity to meet.
Prayas, just to interject, because this is something that I and Mriganka have discussed in detail actually, is the idea that this is also the, I would say the one of the, I would say only cases where this particular collection of collectives are brought together. In the sense that you have an idea of, yes, there is a propeller group that exists, or there is an Okin collective that exists, or there's Chimpom or Desire Machine that are there. But perhaps this is also for me most interesting question, and I think Mriganka and I have discussed it, is that we have never really had in conversation with collectives outside of the Indian context. Maybe there was an opportunity for you to have in different projects where you are exhibiting with somewhere, of course, internationally in a Biennale context it's where, and also in a Biennale context it's too many people, and the conversation is not as precise as we are thinking. It's more cacophonic. It's a completely different dynamic. But I think what interested both of us, or I think what the conversation has been, is mostly about how sharing space.
But I mean, at this point, I think what we are going into is the dynamics of the event. I mean, we can take it for granted that, of course, the event itself had its had its point of it was attractive for maybe different reasons to the participants and all of that. But I mean, that we can take for granted because the event has, in that sense, already been already been open. It has already been seen. It has already generated response. So we all, in that sense, know that. So we are not in that sense trying to rationalize that which has already happened. But after it has happened, we are basically trying to understand what caused it to happen in the way that it did, and that surely must have been more than like these prosaic in that sense criteria that okay, it is about collectives, it's about these collectives on an international stage, these 4 collectives in the South Asian region. I mean, all of these are maybe the the prosaic the criterias, but beyond that. So I mean, I'm trying to understand, like, okay, so what was the kind of interest point for you personally? I mean, it's not about picking on Mriganka. I mean, of course, so anyone can jump in.
Yeah, maybe Okin can speak to the question too.
Yeah, so I think I have many reasons, very personally, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, but first, I'd like to see there's many different collective in there, and then I really want to see how they work together each other. And then absolutely, so I want to see the Aditya too, and then we just talk about more what is the collective in the contemporary art. That, and then yeah, of course, the Delhi is the new space is for me in my life. So I want to see the different city too. Then,
Did you manage to see the exhibition?
Yeah, they just saw the exhibition.
No, so we just
Oh, you did not go
we went there, but after opening.
after the opening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, so the process was like that. So yeah, I think that this is my personal motivation to be there.
So amongst all these things, what have you come to value and maybe, you know, enjoy? What did you come to enjoy the most? So what did you value? What did you enjoy? What became a kind of
yeah, so
memory
we
that-
just missed to meet the chance to meet other artists from the show, as you know. But we worked as many space in Delhi. Also, we met as many artists and other people, or just people there. Also, we visit as many historical places, and then, yeah. So we heard, and then we study about the new space in Delhi. That's the good things for us, and after exhibition. But I'm so sorry to meet the other artists. There even is Aditya too.
So basically, Okin were trying to come for the opening, but they could not come. But I have actually met Okin in very briefly in 2013 when I was in Korea, and then and maybe if that trip did not happen, then the conversation was. And when I wanted to do a project about Korea, and then suddenly, oh wait, we have met this collective. And I started then researching on in detail, and then that's how the conversation. Then I touched base with them, and also I was in touch with them regarding other research. So it was a very interesting conversation. And also, Okin, do you want to talk a little about how the collectivism within Korean context works for you? How does it being collective within Seoul? Because there's also other collectives. How you share the
Yeah, so these days we have many collective teams in Korea, but the whole team is so different because generation is different, and they with all the artists' life is so different. So it's very interesting things in now. But you know, so our life is very tough, especially for young artists. Yeah, that is the kind of the reason why we meet together, why we meet and work together, you know.
You talked about life being tough. Is that like things like funding and spaces?
Yeah, so it's really tough to survive as an artist in Korean society. So we have to share the space, and then we share as many things. It's like we share the work, and yeah. So I think that is kind of a solution to us making group.
Shall we move on to the next question?
Yes, I think we'll move on to the next question.
that's a rapid fire.
Yeah, so we're going to go through quickly through 6 questions, and we have just 6 minutes for it. So the first question, either of you can answer, or maybe everybody can pitch it for the first question. How is the temperature in the building you are in?
I didn't hear it. What did you say?
How is the temperature in the building you are in currently?
Now here is 21 or 22.
Is it comfortable?
Excuse me?
Is it comfortable?
Yeah, it's comfortable because this is a spring season. So yeah, I think
Okay.
this is perfect moment.
For me also it
Mriganka?
is. For me also it's 20 degrees, so I'm also quite comfortable.
See,
Okay.
for me, it's 5 degrees.
How comfortable are you?
I'm actually fine.
How about Satya?
What about you guys?
For me, it's
42.
yeah, yeah,
Wait,
yeah. For
You
me,
guys
it's
are
around
calling from-
20.
20. Okay.
Yeah, it's
and-
40 here for me too.
Oh my goodness.
Drastic
Okay, the
difference
next-
in the outside.
yeah.
The next question. Sorry.
Next question. Who else could have been part of the show?
Is that a question to me or to the?
Anybody jump in.
All of you. Yeah,
And you have to
anybody.
be quick about it.
Yeah, we
I
have just a minute.
think I would have invited Ruang Rupa from Indonesia.
Okay.
Why do you think you were not part of the show?
Purely logistical reasons. No, actually, I wanted to bring some more from Indonesia. I've not done research from Manila, but I could not because I think I could not manage to get in touch with them in time. So that's something that's unfortunate, but it's okay. There's always a next time.
Okin, who else do you think could have been part of this show?
Yes, me and two other members will be there.
No, other than the collectives that were part of the show, do you think some other collectives that you know might have fitted into the show well? Would they have suited the exhibition? Could you think of anybody?
Actually, I just live. Do you know it's a part-time suite in Korea?
Yeah. So it's a collective of two women. It's called Part-Time Suit.
Yeah, they
Okay.
started from the 3 members, but now it's 2.
Okay.
They do extremely experimental stuff. Very, very interesting.
Okay. Okay. The next question. Who was the first person to hear about this show from you?
Okin, go ahead.
I don't remember.
Okay. All right.
Who do you think it could have been?
Who
Excuse
should
me?
it have been?
That's a different question.
Funny.
Okin,
Who
who did you tell the show about? Who was the first person you told the show to?
Yeah, of course it's Aditya.
apart from both of us, I think they're asking.
Yeah.
Actually, sir, I don't hear the exactly question from you. So
When you heard about the show,
Uh-huh.
whom did you tell first? Who was the first person you went and shared the news with?
In our group, you mean?
In general.
In general, it could be in your family, in your group. Who was the first person to hear about it?
Actually, so we shared the email, so maybe at the same time.
Oh, all of you read it at the same time. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll move on. Who was the first person you ever collaborated with on a work project?
You mean in the beginning?
Yes,
any work
like in your
project.
entire career, who was the first person you
I
collaborated
don't remember
with?
because our collective is very natural. The start. So in the first we doesn't have any kind of this name as an collective. We just work together very naturally, and then after then later so we just decide the name of the Okin collective. So.
But what about in your personal life? Like, who was the very first person you ever worked with outside, even before?
Before
maybe a
Okin
school
happened.
project. Maybe a school
Before
project.
so I had as one artist group, so like artist for the Atel. So we start. I have also one colleague. We just started 2 person for the group. But Atel for artist this is the name of the group.
Okay.
And then we just share the technical things with the other artists. That's the purpose why we made this group. But this group is gone now.
Okay. Mriganka?
Yeah, much before actually coming into arts, I was into science research. So I collaborated with one of my friend for a project. That was the first time I collaborated, and in a collaborative project.
Okay. All right. Okay, 5th question is how many exhibitions do you successfully avoid in a year?
That's a very good question. Yeah, I like this question.
So you can go ahead and answer it.
So I think lots, because I think I don't have a count, but usually more than 6, 7. Yeah, that's how you don't want to, and it has been increasing because you don't see the point of just being part of, and you don't see the things. I think it is all based on conversations. So some of the exhibitions which doesn't have any thing of conversation, it's like a ritual. So you tend to avoid it. So you don't think that you are fit. It's not a judgment, but it is also you don't think that you belong there. So in a sense, like even how other people are saying it, it is also like it is very hard to do what we do. So it is you have to choose. You cannot do, because very little time is there, so you cannot do everything.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot.
All right.
Because here is so many exhibition, and then we heard so many suggests to join the exhibition.
Yeah.
But
are you happy to miss them?
No. Well, it's just gone. Why I have to still think about that?
Yeah,
That's true.
they don't exist. So.
Okay. The last question in the rapid fire is, are you having a good time?
Good time in where?
Right now.
Yeah.
Now.
Yes.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, it's pretty busy, but I'm happy.
Okay.
That's
It's like I just so I went to this Delhi and I met as many people. This is
And
kind of happy. Yeah.
And since you guys have initiated this, are you guys having good time?
We're having a good time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are collectively trying to figure what it is that we would like to talk about as a group. So yeah, I think we are fishing for conversation threads.
Which is always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we'll move to the next question. which will be a longer question, and it is, when you meet with your collective, how much of yourself personally do you bring into the room? So what part of you stays outside, and what do you bring into the room when you meet with your collective?
So actually, I didn't think about this question until now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just bring my whole things to meet my colleague, you know.
So you bring your entire self?
Yeah, actually, I don't want to separate myself from the collective, you know.
That's very interesting. Is that how it was right from the beginning, or is that something that you realized after you started working with the collective?
You know, I also doing my private work, but at the same time, I have to think about the collective. But yeah, of course, as I heard as many questions, like you. So people, that question is like, so what is the different private and collective things?
Yes.
But it's really hard to answer. But you know, as my private works is totally different than the collective works. I mean, the theme and materials and the expression way, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can say that is not different or same, because it's really hard to separate from separate me and collective.
So you seem to have a clear distinction between your own practice outside of the collective, yes? That is separate.
Yeah.
But then when you're in the collective, there is
Yeah.
a different personality altogether. Is that what you're saying?
Because the Okin collective just following what is the important issue in our society. So personally, I have to think about that question personally, you know.
Yeah.
So that position is the same, I think.
Interesting.
But even when you're dealing with those questions, I'm wondering if your own private practice might influence or feed ideas that you may work with as a collective, or whether what you do as a collective somehow finds a way of getting into your personal practice.
Yeah, how do you figure where to place the boundaries? So as in, what is the personal and what is the collective? Because in that sense, something that you're thinking about personally, when you are interacting with the collective, you might want to, I don't know, do you also feel like sharing what you are thinking about personally? Because, or do you think that's personal? I mean, so I think it will be interesting to talk about just, yeah, what boundaries, how do you place boundaries, and do these boundaries exist?
Well, I think I just try to continue my thinking.
Okay. So you don't place boundaries in that sense.
Yeah, there is the boundary somehow, you know, but we just control each other to make final something, you know. There is so many talking and thinking, you know. I think that is the process, but we have to decide something for final things.
So
but
there is
thinking is not separate at all. It's totally mixed in the personal and the collective.
Inside the collective. Yeah. What about you, Mriganka?
Yeah, so for me, I think the thing is like, I personally feel that, collective or things like that is how we interpret it. It is like, it has been like a, organism. It is not like it is a challenging. And I think the first thing what is over the years, what we have understood is that you need space for difference, because I think that is the thing, and it is not either or. It is that that either you are bringing yourself or your collective is the thing. It is and, always and, not or. And it reminds me of a very interesting, book of Jaluk Nossi's. It's called Being Singular or Plural. So somewhere the singularity and the collectivity, it is kind of connected. So you cannot leave the one thing, like into the day-to-day life, what I do to survive and what I do when I bring myself into the thing. You cannot keep that outside the door. So there definitely, that's why there has to be space for difference. And I think it's quite a struggle. It's quite a, and that's also what makes it interesting and dynamic, that you can grow. Otherwise it can be a dead organism. Can be dead, like so somewhere you are always have constant challenges to go out of yourself or go outside of the collectivity and able to reevaluate. So so that this kind of conversations keeps happening. So difference is, for us, difference is very important.
Is this something that you discuss within the collective, or is that something that's just understood that a personality development happens?
No, it comes out. I think you cannot I think even if you want it to be very control conversation, but somewhere because of the personalities are different, or there is a personal growth. Similarly, there is a also a growth of a collectivity. So somewhere both are going parallel. So somewhere, so it is, as I said in the beginning, that I see the collective as an organism.
Right.
So it is coming up with different challenges. So how to coexist. So in that sense.
Yeah, it's like the organism is growing and the parts of the organism are also changing and growing.
Yes.
And eventually everything influences each other.
Exactly. So it's a tough kind of a thing. So otherwise you can stop the growth and say we agree to each other, and this is like so that can be something which is kind of very liberal economy, or a kind of capitalism in some sense, that you are controlling your growth and distributions, a thing. So it is crazy process. It's a crazy process because you are also living an economic life, social life, your biological life. So somewhere, how do you bring all of this? It's and most of these things doesn't come out in exhibitions that personal side of artist or collective or anything, that what goes behind in producing. And I think it is, in some sense, is also the title of the exhibition is also quite it is in sync, in the presence of others. So in some sense it's the other is more important. In some sense it is as I said, it is and, it is not either or, it has to be both.
Right. Now, the thing that is curious to me is, do you feel that there is any value in vocalizing such type of questions within the collective, for you personally, within your collective?
Yes. I think it is very important. Otherwise it's going to be unhealthy, and repression, in the sense that repression of that, just to, and many a times that we have taken risk of that, if we have this conversation, we might not have some commonalities, that we might hurt our individuality, but that is the stake you take, because otherwise why you choose to work together. And like I have never worked as an individual, to be very frank. I've never, like, even in when I was in science, I never worked alone. I always work together with kind of, and it makes me nervous to work alone, and so I kind of see that there is some kind of connectors, which is that, and I see as a productive thing. I don't see that that is, because I'm scared to get alienated. I don't want to be that disconnected.
Yeah, makes sense.
But then do you see it as a kind of role play which becomes in a way a part of like conventional behavior, like a general behavior, common behavior? Like, does it become a part of you, the kind of role play?
So that is what I'm trying to break, the role play. That's what I'd say, that I don't want to play any role. So that's where, because the organism, the collective organism wants to grow in a certain way. So you don't play that role. You have to, it's keep changing. It is the becoming. It is constantly becoming something. So 10 years back, what the urgencies or angst, which has led us or anybody to, so it may not be the same. So there has to be the space for the change. Otherwise, I would be like a corporate agent who are feeding out and taking out some glossy objects or films, and I'm just handing out to people. So I don't see that. Why am I doing what I am doing? So I should be able to allow that, even if it is uncomfortable, that the thing of the scope of the change, it should be allowed.
Yeah. I think it's also the relationship between somewhere the idea of disagreement and consensus in collective spaces, because at least because as I understand, usually conversation begin with like disagreements of some conceptual and material kinds, and then at the end you come to a kind of a common consensus. And then that is a very, for me personally, at least watching some collectives very closely in the process, is what is very fascinating, because how can actually the process of disagreement towards consensus work, where you have a point, but it's not the ultimate point. There is a kind of not a solidarity might not be a word, a kind of a common understanding, okay, this is the right way to maybe present this idea, or right way to present this particular kind of show, etc.
So, in that sense, are you talking about a kind of fluid kind of leadership structure? So in that sense, there is no fixed role. There are no fixed roles to be played in terms of who is going to be doing what kind of, like, who is going to be pushing the conversation, which direction and which way. But it's a set of roles that keeps emerging in different conversations.
It's also the idea of interjection, for instance, as a method. Like, for example, it's not complementing whatever everybody else is saying. It's the idea of interjecting, not just to break the momentum of what somebody else is saying. It's also what Mriganka was saying, is also and also. So yes, you're saying a particular thing, and then I try to interlace or interject with it with a particular idea. So then what happens is that then interjection becomes this really interesting process through which maybe a third kind of thing emerges in conversation. But if it happens once in a while, it's a different thing, but it happens on a daily basis, then the dynamic is very different.
Yeah, that makes sense. And to interject the next question at this point.
Yeah. So, I'm in that sense guessing. So in this, Okin, you actually managed to see the exhibition, and Mriganka, did you also manage to visit?
Yeah. I saw the exhibition.
Yeah, we did.
So that kind of punctures that question, because the question was, how do you evaluate an exhibition that you haven't visited?
But we can still talk about it as
We
an
can
idea.
talk about it maybe in the context of some other exhibition experience that you might have been a part of, in which you didn't actually visit the exhibition, but you had a work in it. And how do you evaluate what actually happened in the exhibition experience without actually having been there?
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe I need some time to feel what is the evaluate from the exhibition, because we just checked exhibition, but the exhibition is just going on now, so we can't get any feedback from the exhibition in Delhi, But I can say we have many different evaluate about the New Delhi.
So you're saying you did not have, or there hasn't been enough of a time yet to form a complete picture of it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So yeah, maybe we could alive before the opening.
Uh-huh.
There are many that can bring as many different way to make this exhibition. But we missed that time. So I just, it's a little bit hard to talk about that things.
Okay.
But supposing there was an exhibition that imagine that you couldn't go to Delhi. Supposing you could not go to Delhi at all, how would you have been able to evaluate this exhibition?
Usually, we just try to talk with the curator about the show, because we can check the what is the condition of the exhibition and what is the feedback of the exhibition from the people. So after the show or in the exhibition, we just try to talk with the curator.
Okay.
But do you think the curator is able to maybe share an independent perspective of the experience? Because logically a curator would always have a interest in having a positive perspective of the experience, like, yeah, it was all good.
Well, I don't say always good things.
So there's also this thing for a curator, whoever is putting up the show, they have been working with it so closely for so long. Whereas when you do get to see the exhibition either for yourself or through another source, you get another perspective of what that exhibition offers as an experience. So, and that's where the question comes from. How are we able to access that kind of or the multiple perspectives of the experience that an exhibition can offer? You can even maybe log in if the exhibition's online and see a show or something.
No, that's exactly the idea. The analysis of what exhibition as a form can achieve is only made an opinion today reading it online. I just wrote a response to Shanghai Biennale by purely online sources, thinking that it will actually produce a different kind of narrative, maybe a similar narrative that is a very different kind of take one could take. But the significant amount of exhibitions today we see, especially the important ones in the world, or the big ones, so to speak, are mostly online because of whatever reasons. Even when you're an artist who are part of the show, not always you go and see the exhibition for whatever reasons. I'm not saying only because you can't go or whatever. So there are opinions. Of course, curator becomes the way in which you try to make sense of the exhibition about what other artists are there, etc. But at the same time, for a curator, or like somebody who's in the curating field, the way you judge exhibition as form is mainly through Instagram or like all the social media circulation that happens.
So as a skill set that a curator must have today is digital marketing.
Absolutely. The presentation online, like it looks like there is a different meta dimension now to physical exhibitions, because this used to not be the case before, right? Like when there wasn't this kind of a digital access.
Yes, there was an understanding that what happened on the ground happens on the ground, and
exactly.
that's it.
Yeah.
So Aditya, would you in that sense agree that you need to wear a digital marketer's hat also now?
I don't know about the digital market, because I'm very wary of using market as a thing, even though it is actually what it is. But the point is, exhibition also demands a digital life today for it to circulate beyond what its immediate audience are.
That's one thing, but the second thing is also that as a curator, you had a vision for what was physical. But if that vision is not translated into what is being shown digitally, that may be out of the curator's control, right? So that's perhaps something to keep in mind.
Yeah, for sure, because the way most of the exhibition engagement of the audience, especially in a Biennale context, works, they want to take selfies with the artworks, which is one of the most popular way of engaging with the artworks, especially of spectacular nature today. But you can say that is one of the most active engagements, but you can also say that that is not actually serving the purpose of the artwork. So there can be multiple readings of what you can or cannot value and not value in terms of an online engagement.
Yeah.
So what are the kids? Where are the kids from? I'm hearing kids in the background.
I don't know, maybe from...
Are they here?
I don't know. I hear school kids in the background.
Maybe they logged in to provide for us a
ambient environment. Yeah, that's the ambient environment.
So let's move on to the next question. Is there next question?
Yeah, I don't know if Mriganka wanted to answer
sorry.
the earlier question.
No, I think regarding this, I think I would respond by saying that like the present avatar of digital, I'm not, it's very flat for me even to evaluate an exhibition. It is not either by writing or, if I'm not there, or just by even what you're saying, the whole danger of digital marketing or any kind of thing. So I would say somebody, like, there are many instances where I have not been able to go there. So I would ask somebody who is not an artist or who is not connected to any of this thing, and he or she has visited, I would like to listen to their impressions. That is something I do, something I like to listen to, at which kind of in a kind of a game narrative, in some sense, you can say, like how they are receiving that. Because otherwise exhibition is, if you are within the fraternity, it is a kind of mechanism. I think it is self-operating. It is kind of operating for itself. So somewhere very rarely and very rare, the lot of the signals could go out and and can be received by very group of people. So for me, that is I like to, first thing is that it can be like very interesting people, very unobvious people coming and talking about something which is very, very interesting. Like I remember as a viewer, I understand how I told about, I don't remember which version of Berlin Biennale, which was very, very powerful, it didn't look like an exhibition, so it was an impression, which is so I think still, like, I think it is not possible for us to travel, but somewhere, if there is something as this, what you guys are doing, if like some of the exhibition can create a kind of interface which can address how to represent an exhibition, how to maybe that is the way. But if the present thing, I find it very flat, just images, selfies, and somebody praising or somebody writing critical kind of thing. I don't see it. I can't evaluate. It's difficult.
Interesting. Yeah, actually, it's funny because just a few days ago, even within Surfatial, we were discussing the same thing, what you said, of somebody who's not an artist as they identify, as Malvika, you had mentioned.
Yeah.
But I have some question about this answer, the question. But what is the difference in between the didn't visit the exhibition and do visit?
Sorry, can you say it again?
The difference between visiting and not visiting the exhibition.
Yeah. What is the difference? For example, we just visited Delhi, right? But that is just the moment, So we cannot stay all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not like you're there 24/7 all the time sitting there.
Yeah. I think the work is just learning itself.
That's an interesting dimension to, even if you're visiting in a particular moment, and there are many moments where you're not there.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, the artworks are standing on their own all the time anyway. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
of course.
but which also brings into question the appearance of having visited something, some place, some exhibition. So like Madhukar, like we had done the Facebook trip to Kutch
Yes.
a few years back. So that was, you know, so we just posted photographs and videos of having done something, but we didn't actually do it. And that of course has its own currency. Like it's so easy to create the kind of the illusion of participation in in something without actually, you know, doing it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
It's a
what
kind
is
of
what is present?
playful imagination also, where in some ways I see it almost like a virtual experience where you don't visit something, and I'm not talking in terms of online experience, but even when you imagine something, you have all the data and information about a space or a city or an event, and for whatever reason you haven't been able to go to it, and yet you put together pieces in your own head that still makes it real for you, and you can imagine that you have had some experience of it through your own imagination.
Yeah, this makes sense. I'm just reminded of a song by Jamiroquai, Traveling Without Moving. So it's like I'm there without being there. So let's go to the last question because we're almost near the end of our time. So what is missing in your life and why is it missing?
I think for me, I think what I also in our in the studio we talk about this, but somewhere personally for me, I think I miss somewhere like a community. And when I'm talking about community, I'm also talking about online or offline or even like a tangible community, which is I think is missing from my life. And why is it missing is somewhere I don't know, like uh, as I said in the beginning, that there is a whole tendency that like a whole thing of, you know, considering every action as a part of a group or as a community or commune. So I am feeling that it is more and more in the neoliberal sense we are being separated from the thing. So there is all the time you are using different mediations or technologies to kind of, but it is, I think it is more alienating in some sense. So somewhere I think to bring in the idea of community, and it is not only an interface, I think it is more than an interface. I think it is missing from my life, and I crave that somewhere. Like in one of our project, what was idea was to bring together variant different kind of communities and trying to create. But to sustain a community, it is very it is very difficult, and it is very very, you know, like to, you know, keep it. So I miss that. I think I miss that in my life.
Do you feel like it has changed over the decades, like over the past decades? Like, has there been more of an
Yes,
alienation
yes.
here?
No, I think one of my strongest impression is that whatever I am able to think or I'm doing is because of a community life.
Yeah.
So and that is the reason I am located where I'm located, because somewhere I have a memory of that, and I am a product of that community living.
Yeah.
So whatever I have, the books has been passed on or what kind of a thing. So over last 30-25 years, I see that it is a kind of a deconstruction, it is kind of a disintegrating thing, and I'm constantly trying that even through, and that's also one I'm thinking that to whenever we are trying to, you know, think through something, it is to connect. So it is not a spectacle or it is not an attention I'm trying to create in front of somebody, but somewhere like somebody is coming and having a conversation or something is, so that is the biggest, you know, asset or kind of impetus for making art. I don't see that you know, it is for me personally, it is not, because I have a day job, so I don't do it for money. I don't do
Yeah.
it really. So I don't want to do it for money. That is, I want to keep it really. So that is missing. That which is I'm looking for, even in even general life, not only art, like artistic. I don't. So it is kind of alienating, even and the whole thing, the way it operates, because you cannot separate any of your actions and your activity from the global functioning of things. So even if you try to work with any of your things, but you cannot separate from economy and this kind of a thing. So somewhere it is always a competition or the division of labor, and then you have to segregate yourself from everybody else, and you have to feel alienated. So
Yeah.
that is what I see, that it is none of those things is able to bring together people, or it is that things,
Yeah.
Okay. Shiu Jin, you would like to?
Yes, actually, yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand there's so many things, but I don't want to use that word missing,
Yeah.
because it's also very natural. So I can say it, just let it go.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. That's a great
But
approach.
still, I have to use the missing. Um, I'm missing almost 6 years in my young age. It means like I don't remember what happened in the specific at my age, young age. It's like from 8 to 12, because as my mom was so sick, so I have to stay with the mom.
Yeah.
At that time, so I missed many things. It's like the news from outside, and I don't have any friends that time. And yeah, so I can't remember as many things from that moment.
That's very.
That I can say that is the missing from my life.
Yeah. That's a poignant note. Yeah.
But yeah, other thing is, yeah, very naturally just gone.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Also, the many things it comes up. So
Yeah.
It's like,
True.
I don't know. It's my answer.
Yeah. No, makes a lot of sense. Yeah. What are you missing, Aditya?
I'm missing Delhi and food. That thing. Actually, I'm fine. I should not complain. I'm in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's very good. I think. Sorry, what are you saying?
No, I'm saying about everybody, what other people are missing.
Yeah.
I just
Malvika, Prayas, Satya.
I'm missing patience. Yeah, I keep feeling that I'm running out of it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like it has been a constant process of negotiating for meaning in what is projected, and what is for us like artistic activity or whatever. And it's not at this point, it's not enough for it something to be for something to have artistic value. It needs to have some meaning beyond that. And I think for me, that's what I'm missing.
Yeah.
Satya.
I'm so put on the spot right now, but what I'm missing is being able to focus on a subject like reading. For example, if I'm reading a book, I used to be able to like sit and read it for a long stretch of time, and now my attention is fragmented, and I don't like that. I'm missing the time when it wasn't so fragmented.
So there was this job offer the other day. There was this job offer the other day, which is basically for someone to stay in this place which has no Wi-Fi connection, and it's actually in a lamp post, but it has like staying, but you have to stay there for like 6 months. And it's like, I think, initiative by the government because the life is going extinct in that particular region.
In India?
No, it's somewhere, I think, in New Zealand or somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'll
quite-
apply then.
Don't apply.
Okay.
Berlin is as good. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, I think
Yeah.
last comments. How much more time we have?
Yeah, I think we are nearly done with our 1 hour, but on just to in that sense, yeah, introduce our next date and hope as many of us can join in then, and maybe more of us can join on 11th April. So next conversation is on 11th.
Yeah, on the 11th. Yes.
So
So
Yes.
new set of members.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Okin and Mriganka, for joining.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you,
for
guys.
today.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
yeah,
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.